morning. Well, good afternoon, actually. Mass adoption is a very controversial subject. It's a big subject, actually. I could end this. I have a 20-second presentation and a 10, 15-minute presentation, so I'll give you the short version. Mass adoption, problem and solution in the same sentence. We need more women in the space. Thank you for watching. And honestly, I could just walk away. There are social issues that we need to attend. There are technical issues. There are various others. It's much more complicated than what I will present, but we will cover some basics. I'm actually serious about the women's participation. We're currently below 8% engagement of women in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. We need to figure out ways to bring in more women. Why? Because every economy, it's a women's-driven economy. And ask any married man in this room. We don't decide what we're going to buy, guys. We don't decide when, how, where, what size, shape, or color it's going to be. They do. If we're talking about cryptocurrency as a currency, we need to think about retail. We need to think about the market. Women drive that market. We don't. Now, before we go forward to the rest and explain some of the rest of the issues we have, I need to use we've all heard the half full glass or half empty, and we're bored of that story, so let me give you a different perspective. If you remember from school, there was these atoms or molecules that split and they become two in biology, and then they become 4, 8, 16, and so forth. So at 11 o'clock, we put one of those in an empty glass. Every 1 minute, they split, they duplicate. At 12 o'clock, the glass is full. So when was the glass half full? At 11:59. Because then they would duplicate and the glass is full. Guess what? Someone told me when I showed this presentation that I'm a bit too straightforward, I'm a bit too strict on what I say, and forgive me for using the word a bit cocky. Well, someone has to, because we've all heard it. The current economic structure is degrading, is collapsing, is corrupted, and it has been for the past 50 years. We see governments collapsing. We have the example of Greece. We have Cyprus, where I come from. It's been going on for 5 years now. Italy, Venezuela, Turkey with the recent lira drowning. I don't need to say more. We see banks closing their doors, and it's not just recent. This has been going on for quite some years. In Cyprus, we had a major bank closed down 5 years ago. And guess what happened? Government put their hands in people's money to bail them out. We're still paying. It's 11:59. That's why I used the example before. We need to wake up. We need to either fix it or replace it. Well, we've been trying to fix it. The only thing we have achieved in the past 15, 20, 30 years is postpone its end of life. And allow me to be a bit cocky again by saying I challenge any financier, any economist in this room to prove me wrong. There's the story. Blockchain is a good candidate. I don't think I have enough time to explain why. There have been other presentations I've seen, very interesting. Roger Ver this morning mentioned a few good parts why we should be using blockchain. He mentioned babies, mentioned mortality, people's wealth, distributed wealth, a fair distribution of wealth. Yes, we need to achieve that, but how do we do it? Blockchain, yeah, it has more benefits, more features, better solutions, faster, cheaper solutions, but not everything is pink and nice. We still have some hurdles to go through, some problems we need to attend, apart from needing more women in the space. So I'll start with a bit of the technical issues we have. One major issue is speed and capacity. How much can we process? I always tell my developers that they should forget the word currency when they build in blockchain, because it's not just about cryptocurrency. It can do a lot more, but let's be fair, all of you are here for the money, so let's stick to that. Let's talk about transactions and money. Visa, the Visa network can process about 24,000 transactions per second. You can see the rest, Repo, 1,500, PayPal, all these three are financial institutions or bank-related. And then come some cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and so forth. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Core, seriously, 7 transactions per second. Ethereum, the second largest platform today, 20. To put things in perspective, if I take McDonald's, they have, 40,000 approximately restaurants around the world. They serve about 70, 80 million people a day. So if you do the math, 80 million people a day, 24 hours, 60 minutes, 60 seconds, you would find about 700 to 800 transactions per second. And that's the average. I'm not talking about peak times and load times now. 700 to 800 transactions. So where would they fit? Repo would die on a peak time, serving McDonald's alone. So we need to advance this much higher. There has been some good advancements. I have to correct myself on the Bitcoin Cash. They're not at 60, I've confirmed with them. They've made good improvements. They're about 240 something now, and they're working on higher. There are other blockchains that have claimed more than 25,000. They claimed 1 million even. But there's no use case for them. They didn't achieve the use case yet to go into mass adoption. Next thing is ease of use. I see apps coming on phones. Every month there's a new one. There's tools to make it easier for us to use cryptocurrency in everyday life. But we're still not there. We need to start thinking not only about apps on the smartphones. We need to think about the masses out there. It's not us. It's not us who know how to use the smartphone. It's the grandmas. They still go shopping. It's the uneducated. It's the unbanked. They don't have smartphones. There's third world countries, which is about 20% of the planet, but that don't have internet on their phones. They don't have smartphones at all. So we need to start thinking of ways to use cryptocurrency in everyday life without needing so much technology, without needing to teach people how to do it and what to do. Imagine teaching my grandma how to get a Bitcoin wallet and load it with cryptocurrency and hold, I don't know, private keys and public keys and then scan QR codes. That's not going to happen. Now, which brings me to my next subject. Can we actually teach people around the world? Can we teach them how things work, what cryptocurrency is, how to use it? I've personally tried. I've been doing presentations about blockchain, what it is, how it works, the mechanics behind it, for about 2 years now. We did a brilliant one that's at the University of Nicosia. It was called the Human Blockchain. Basically, a bunch of dudes holding hands and pretending to be a blockchain and feeling weird about it. There was many more that followed. And the point is, at the end of the day, what did I achieve towards mass adoption? I taught a room of 300 people what blockchain is and how cryptocurrency works. Everyone left that day with a smile on their face, saying to me, "Thank you, I now understand how things work." But on a scale of 0 to 100, from 0 to mass adoption, what did I achieve? 0.00000, lots of zeros, something towards that. If I convinced another person from that room to do the same, it would take us about 20 years to achieve mass adoption that way, mass awareness. It's not going to happen. So we need other ways. So I switched mode, and I started teaching developers how to properly develop blockchain solutions, how to properly use blockchain, not just to develop the backend. Leave that to them. You don't need to know how that is made. If you're a developer, fair enough. Yeah, I'll be happy to work with you. But we don't need to teach blockchain development now. We can teach the programmers to do that. They, in turn, need to know not just about programming. Since we're talking about currency, they need to know some economics too. They need to know and figure out that a grandmother is going to use this, or a slightly educated person. So the UIs they build, the user experience needs to be so easy to use, or perfect solution will be seamlessly use cryptocurrency without them even needing to know. So I'll give a good example, and we have a saying where I come from. If you don't praise your own home, it will fall on you. Greeks in the room will understand this. So allow me to do some shameless promotion, paving the road about how we used this knowledge and everything I just said into one of the solutions that we're suggesting into mass adoption, a seamless integration. We took a loyalty company that we've been operating for past 5 years. It's a bonus card. It works with cashback. Everyone knows how that concept works. And you don't even need to know that there is cryptocurrency behind it. So what did we do? We solved first the speed and transaction issue by building our own blockchain, our own technology. It's not just about that. It has more features that we need to enter the retail world. We've built ecosystems, cash registers, all the tools that the retailers need. Everything is free for the clients and the retailers themselves. They pay on performance. So apart from the technology, we made it easy. We have both an app and a physical card for the grandmas, because they're not going to use a smartphone and scan QR codes. They're going to go with their card and say, I want my discount, I want my cash back. Someone, their son or whatever, can load cryptocurrency if they need to, and they can actually go spend it. The tools I mentioned, the EPOS systems, they're basically their cash register. We give it to them for free. We have other tools, APIs to integrate with them, terminal software, etc. I don't need to go into much detail. We're open to integrations, and this is a concept I want to give out. We're competing with each other in cryptocurrency, and that's another problem about mass adoption. We are stopping ourselves. We have civil wars. We compete who's going to go first and who's going to go higher in price or not. That's not the right way to go. Vires in numeris was the motto, and still is, I hope, of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Latin, it means power to the numbers. It doesn't mean mathematics. It means power to the masses, power to the people. We need to start thinking that way, because it's 11:59. If we don't solve it today, yesterday, some bad things are going to start happening. Sorry, I'm not cheering you up, but that's the status we are at now. We need to start figuring out drastic solutions. We need to start with a handshake. We need to start thinking collaborations between us. We're at Decentralized. Think of that. The enemy is not in this room. We shouldn't be fighting ourselves. We shouldn't be looking. I had a person walk up to our stand, and after we presented, they told me they have something similar, not quite, and we ended the conversation with an ironic, good luck, he said. I said, you have the wrong concept, mate. I'm not competing with you. You should be looking at what I can help you with and what you can help me with. You have a product, I have a product. Let's work together. That's the concept. And I'll end with, there was many people that walked on stage and said, I am Satoshi. Doesn't matter if they were the real person or not. I mean, we should stop using the word as a name, because it's not a name anymore. It's a concept, and I hope everyone gets it. So if I stand here and say, I am Satoshi, and so are you, that's the actual meaning of the word. We should start embracing that. Thank you very much. We have time for questions.